All right, Thursday night legal podcast, Law and Sporter, everything podcast. We talk about everything on the show. Which reminds me, I have to get some food pictures. I had some food pictures I got to put up. But we'll put them up later on. No Judge Dan tonight because he's actually in town or getting here in town. He's coming in for games 3 and 4. Dan, of course, and we're talking about VGK games 3 and 4. Dan, of course, is a Denver area guy. He did just DM me on Twitter, Justin. He goes, damn, big ass Battleborn billboard on the highway. Justin is big time. I swear.
I was going to hit him up. You know what? I was going to hit him up when I was in Denver for game 1. Well, I was in Denver to visit my brother, but I went to game 1, and I was going to try to reach out to him, but I had a whole bunch of family obligations back and forth, so I didn't have any sort of free time.
I would have been offended. You didn't reach out to me.
Huh? You were there?
You're going to reach out to him and not to me?
His reaction.
I didn't know you were there.
I was there.
It's a big secret.
Yeah.
Not supposed to know where Adam is at any time. He's always on the run.
I don't exactly. I don't know how you cover things. You cover so many different things. It's impossible for you to be physically present for all of them.
It's true. I did tweet. I tweeted a photo from up there. Your seat's much better than where the press box was, Justin.
Yeah. So, well, the good news is buying tickets on StubHub for that game were significantly cheaper than buying tickets or having tickets for the Golden Knights, even at my season ticket rate, even with the Knights Vow, significantly cheaper. So we were on the shoot twice side for Colorado. So actually, that's not where most of the goals were. That was where only 3 of the 7 were. 4 of the 7 were the other way. But we were just a couple rows up from the glass, and it was a good experience. I think Ball Arena actually looks really good for how old it is, 22 years. It's in great shape. I thought it, I think it's held up real good, and the fans, as far as treating opposing fans, were great. They were great.
Well,
as far as
it's pretty easy.
They're whiny.
It's pretty easy to treat.
No,
fans
before the game.
Okay.
No, before the game. Yeah, before the game. But their treatment of officials and their whining and crying about every single call is the only thing I have to critique the Avalanche fans on. Every call is they booed the refs as soon as they skated out. They hadn't even made a call yet. They booed them. I don't know. So
it was,
and they get the calls. I'll give them that. They got the calls yesterday.
It was pretty out of control. It was like VGK level whining.
No, that's not even close. Not even close. And I took my brother, who's a Avalanche fan, and he was like, I don't know what it is about Denver culture, but it is like this at every sporting event. He's like, it's just they whine to the refs in football. He's like, I came to Ball Arena for a lacrosse tournament, and it was like this for a lacrosse tournament. He's like, it's something cultural in Denver.
I didn't notice it as much as I do. Like, I will say the city that I've noticed it more than any, and it's so much more than any other place, is Salt Lake.
Oh yeah. I'm with you there. It's real bad there too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
We're like, they might as well not be watching a game. They're watching like a referee exhibition that just happens to have some athletes going on too.
Yeah, what actually happens is irrelevant. If the call is against them, it's just this massive boo. Oh my gosh, throwing popcorn. This is crazy. And if it's for them, it's not even cheers. It's like about time. Like it's just it's crazy. Yeah.
Well, they love T-shirts too. I've noticed that they love T-shirts in Salt Lake. There was a call in Game 7 at T-Mobile though. I'm thinking back. There was like a really obvious call. And then the ref you suck chant started, and you're like, save it for when there's something that's a bad call. They don't do this now.
I can't remember what it was. That chant. I don't even like that chant, even if the call does suck. My thought is like, let's try to get them on our side. But I'm going to say, in comparison, I go to most VGK games, and yeah, there's some booing on the calls. It is not even in the same stratosphere as what goes on in Colorado. And then, yeah, your point is well taken on Salt Lake.
Yeah. I actually think I do think you're right, Brady. I think it was on the Reeves play. I think it was a refuge,
which was lucky not to be a major.
right. And there was a boo, ref, you suck, ref, you suck.
My God.
It was
Yeah.
great.
What's worse, the Reeves fight where he's ripping the guy's hair out, the Reeves face plant into the goal, or Scheifele last night?
Definitely not the. I think Reeves cross-check into the goal is the third on that list, and I think it's kind of a toss-up between the Scheifele and Reeves thing. The only thing I would say is Evans had no idea that Scheifele was going to hit him. Zero. Graves had an idea that he was targeted and that Reeves was coming for him and had a chance in theory to defend himself. He just wasn't very good at it. And so I'm going to say Scheifele's, because it was clearly going to be a goal, and he did not pull up even a little bit and hit him full speed. It was really bad.
I think the biggest Reeves supporter ever. But I will say Reeves was the worst because it was not part of the game. Like, the play was over and he's like, all right, let's go. I will stand by the Winnipeg check last night. I don't have a problem with the suspension. I don't have a problem with the penalty. All that's fine. It was a huge hit. But he was trying to stop a goal. Like, there was a purpose to what he was doing. They're down one. An empty netter ends the game. An empty netter ends the game.
He's not trying to stop a goal. If he's trying to stop a goal, that does nothing to stop the goal. His stick was nowhere near.
If you hit him before he puts it in?
False.
If you hit him before he puts it in the goal, it doesn't stop the goal?
No, it doesn't. No,
really?
It doesn't. If you're playing, if you're in a defensive position there and your goal is to stop that goal, your stick is on the ice and you're sliding in to stop the puck. He had no interest in the puck. He already knew it was going in. He knew it was going in.
He was also skating at top speed.
Like,
it's easy to look at now. It's easy to look at now and say, well, he could have knocked it away with his stick. He wanted to hit him before he came around the net. Of course he was late. He got there late. But from the time he's at the blue line, he's like, I've got to hit him before he puts his puck in the net, and he was on a mission to hit him. That's
not how you play defense, though. That's not the best play. It's not the smartest play on how to stop a goal in that situation. There's no way that he was trying to stop that puck. No way.
Absolutely he was.
He didn't even have a stick on the ice.
Right. He was trying to hit. No, he wasn't trying to stop the puck. He was trying to stop the man from getting around the net.
Nah, I wholeheartedly disagree with that. I think that at that point where he's pulling, if he thought that what you're saying, he's skating down the ice, he's like, the only way I could stop this is to hit him, which is bullshit from level one. But okay, the only way I could stop this goal is to hit him. By the time he got to him, the puck was in the net and he should have been pulling up, and he was not.
No, he committed to hit. He was committed to hit.
Bullshit.
For sure.
Yeah. And for sure, that's not the best defensive play. If he thought he was trying to save a goal, was the hit. It is not. If he had reached his stick out, that's 6 feet closer he would have been to stopping that puck than hitting him with his shoulder. How the hell is that the best defensive play? It's not even close. Like, nah, I do not buy that shit.
He committed to it way early. He committed to it way early. He was
punishing him for fucking winning the game. That's what he was doing. He knew it was over by the time he got there. Yeah,
I think that's the extra benefit. But his intent from the time he started back in his own zone, from that moment, he was trying to get back to stop that guy from putting the puck in the net. And then, he had several seconds to
figure. He had several seconds to figure out what to do about that. And getting close enough.
Speed.
But if you're we
talked about this today. If you freeze the shot when he's like halfway between the blue line and the goal, and there's a guy coming around the net, Like, we can say now, oh, the best thing to do is probably to get your stick out there and try to dive and get the stick and poke it away. But at top speed, as an athlete, like you're like, I just got to go make sure that guy doesn't put the puck in the net any way possible.
Bullshit.
It's going to hit him.
Oh, my God. That's a terrible take. No fucking way.
It's the same take that every single person on NBC had last night, too. But
no,
it's
I
true.
don't. No, I mean, how many times do you see somebody try to stop a puck in desperation and their play is to, I'm going to take longer to get to him by keeping my stick close to me, and I'm going to wait until my shoulder gets to him. How the fuck does that make any sense? We see people make desperation.
By the way, I've been covering almost every Golden Knights game for 4 years. I've never seen that play happen. Like, I've never seen a guy coming from, but what I'm saying, I've never seen a guy coming from his own end and another guy coming around the net and having that long to go meet each other. Like, that's a unique play in hockey. Like, I've never seen it. So I don't know what the best way to defend it is. I don't know what the proper form is. Nobody does. It happens, once every 5, 6, 7 years?
Bullshit. Now, fucking people lay out and put their stick out. They get as long as they can.
But I've never seen that happen either. I've never seen a guy come from his own zone to try to stop a guy that's wrapping around the net. I have not seen a guy try to defend that play yet in 4 years covering the Golden Knights. So it's not like this happens every day where we say the best thing to do is to go get the stick out there.
No, I mean, if you want to parse it down to that minute level, we haven't seen any of these plays ever before. Every play is unique. But what do we see in desperation mode when they have to stop and there's a desperate attempt to stop the puck? What do you see? You see them lay out and get their stick as long as possible. You saw it on Janmark's hat trick. What do they do then? Lay out, get his stick out there.
That's a guy chasing from behind. That's a guy chasing from behind.
But I'm saying
it's a different play.
So the play is never, holy shit, he's going to get that puck in there before I get to him. So let me make it take longer to get to him. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Of course it doesn't. I'm not saying he's making the best play. I'm saying
he's a professional hockey player.
From the time he was
he does this.
No, he doesn't do it. That's what I just said. It never happens. I never see that. From the time he left his zone, he was like, I'm going to go hit that guy. I need to hit him before he tucks it around the net, but I'm going to go hit that guy. And he thought about it for 200 feet. And it's not like he should have been the guy, but it's not like the guy put it in the net and then he hits him. Like, it was going in the net as he hit him.
He should have been thinking, I need to stop that puck. But you're saying he thinks, I'm going to hit that guy. And then he says, oh, that puck's in already. Fuck him. That's what happened.
It's like
what happened. He never attempted to stop. Not from the moment the puck's in. He never.
Of course, he didn't. I'm not saying. First of all, I'm not saying it's the best play. It was the worst play to try to make. What I'm saying is his intent was from the time he left his zone. His intent wasn't, I'm going to go hit that guy. His intent was, I need to do everything I can to stop this puck from going in the net. That's what he was trying.
Based on what? How are you reading that intent? Based on what? What if he's trying to stop the puck? He uses his stick, like
he's trying to get to the guy before he. Okay, because you could jam your stick and you can still score. If you don't let him around the net, he's not going to score.
Okay, he was clearly already around the net.
We say this all the time. We say this all the time in football, where a play is happening and a guy could make a tackle or knock a guy out of bounds, and he's running from all the way across the field, and he tries to swat the ball out of somebody's hand, and we're like, why didn't he push him out of bounds, or why did he do this? Because we could sit there and make an easy call from our chair and be like, this is the best play to make. This is the best play to make. Why did you try to tackle that guy instead of shoving him out of bounds when he was on the sideline and then he stayed in? Well, that was such a dumb play. Well, yeah, a guy's running at full speed. He's not thinking about what the smartest play is or what the play we think is the best play. He's thinking, what can I possibly do to make sure that doesn't happen? Like, that's what you're thinking.
He's one of the top 20 players in the NHL.
Sure.
You may not have seen this kind of play in the last 4 years, but I guarantee this guy Scheifele has seen this play somewhere in his career over the last 30 years. He has seen this play. He knows what the smart play is. He did not make the smart play. And for you to just
Of course he didn't make the smart play.
Wait. But for you to assume his intent was not dirty and was not malicious, I don't think it's a fair assumption.
Hold on. His intent was malicious. The play was dirty. But I'm saying people that say his only intent was to hurt. Like, that's insane. His intent was to hit the guy before he put the puck in the net. He wanted to do it in the most violent way possible, but that was his intent, to stop him from scoring.
How do we know? How do you know that?
Okay, because that's what I mean. When somebody takes a shot, I assume their intent is to put it in the net. I mean, right. I think that's. I don't know for sure. You're right. I'll never know for sure. Right. The intent is. I think the intent of the guy scoring in the empty net was to score a goal, but I don't know that for sure. Like, I can't go in his head, but I'm saying, watching the play, I think the guy trying to score a goal is trying to score a goal. I think the guy trying to hit the guy scoring a goal is trying to stop the guy from scoring a goal. But I'll never know that for sure. Nobody will.
I just think that watching enough hockey, the best defensive play is almost never when a guy has a puck on a stick with an open net or a clear view is let me hit him. I don't think that's rarely used. It's like let me get my stick in the way.
I'm not arguing that. It wasn't right. The best defensive play.
Right.
It wasn't.
And I think if his intent was to stop the puck, you would have seen his stick. His intent was, we fucking lost, and I'm gonna blast this motherfucker. That's what it was. Yes,
but also, hopefully, it happens before the puck goes in the net.
maybe.
Right,
but I think
that's what it was.
Like right here, I think his intent was to injure him. I think it was to hurt him.
I think it was hit him as hard as I can, and hopefully that happens before the puck goes in the net.
Yeah, I don't know. At least Graves had a chance to. Graves did a little bit of it to himself.
Sure.
He could have answered the bell 2 periods ago, right? He didn't.
Shifley's never had a suspension. Shifley's never had a suspension and never had a hit review.
Never
a bad play.
Right, I agree. I think what Reeves did is disgusting. Like, I do, for sure. It's not the kind of stuff I want on the team that I cheer for sure. But Graves contributed to what happened.
Well, this is what I said. This is the way I said it. I don't necessarily like fighting in the game. I still think it's kind of stupid. But we have all these dumb unwritten rules, right? So, like, last week, there's an incidental contact to the head, a knee to the head in the Toronto series. Tavares goes out, and like, well, this guy has to fight now. Why does he have to fight? Because he hit somebody in the head on accident when he was trying to avoid a collision, but he has to go fight. Okay, fine. Now we go to the Colorado game against Vegas, and people can think what they want about the Graves hit on Janmark. I thought it was – I don't think it was necessarily late. I think he just didn't see the puck go away, but it was definitely high. It was to the head, and you know that Vegas was mad. They want to fight. So in that game last week, even though a guy did it on accident, he had to fight. So now Reeves is like, all right, me and Graves are fighting. And Graves is like, nah, bro, I'm out. Like,
it was actually Carrier, right?
Carrier tried to fight him too. Yeah. Carrier tried to fight him first. But like, he wouldn't fight. So like, if we're going to have these dumb unwritten rules about your fighting, then if you don't fight, well, then now what? Now I'll fight you myself.
Now you know. Yeah, now you're gonna get chased until you fight, right? Like he made that decision. He's like, okay, I'm not gonna fight, and I know they're gonna be coming after me for the next, 30 minutes. So I think he contributed to it a little bit when he was in the tussle with Reeves. He at least knew he was getting in a tussle, had a chance to defend himself, although he knew he was going to get his ass kicked.
Reeves grabbed him from behind.
Well, I mean, he kind of, yes, it's totally disgusting. Like I said, it's totally disgusting. But I just think Shifley's is just a tad worse because Evans had no fucking clue, and just.
The reason I think Reeves is worse is because the play was over.
Oh, yeah. Well, the part that really gets me about Reeves is that his hair got ripped out.
Yeah.
That's just like...
I respect that. He was trying to inflict as much pain as he could.
Well, the hair got ripped out with the helmet, though, right? Isn't that how it happened?
Yeah.
All right. Well, the hockey flow comes with risk.
That's great.
Yeah.
Steve gone? Do you go?
He gave up.
Take a break.
I'm here. I was enjoying.
And to this
Lakers
comment,
Lakers down 19 now. No Anthony Davis.
Davis played 5 minutes, and then they said that's enough.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question for you guys on this. So you guys are big NBA fans, and I'm not, right? I know who's playing in the series. I know that the playoffs are going on, and I know who some of the major players are. Based on my social media feed, it seems like LeBron has really hurt his legacy in maybe just this postseason, but the unwillingness to like play hard when they're losing or when something's going on. Am I just getting a very distorted feed, or is that like actually going on?
I mean, I think it's silly. I obviously, as we just learned, have a very different take than most people on a lot of things. Like he left. So the big problem that a lot of people had is he left the sidelines last game when they were losing and they were getting blown out. He left the sidelines to go start getting treatment. Now people are like, "You stay with your team until the game's over. Like, you know, you wait until the final buzzer and then you go." My thought would be, you have 48 hours. You use every goddamn second of that 48 hours to get yourself ready for the next game. Like, that'd be my take on it. So I know that.
Well, I've been seeing these videos on my feed of like LeBron like literally not going back on defense, right? He just stayed under the rim while the whole team went back and it was a 5-on-4 and he stayed in the offensive zone. Didn't that happen?
I didn't see that one. I'm sure maybe it did if he was hurt or whatever happened. Or maybe
Hurt?
he was frustrated.
No, he's just standing there. He was super pissed about the shot.
That's possibly true.
But yeah, and then he just stood there and he didn't go back and play defense. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't watch games. I know what's going on roughly. Like I know the scores and that stuff, but I don't watch the games. It just seems like all of a sudden my feed got really rough on LeBron.
He's not showing well of himself. Like I understand what Adam's saying, but it's kind of absurd from an optic standpoint, from a teamwork standpoint. Stay out there for the final 6 minutes, and yeah, the just giving away games is hard to deal with. Like when you're, I know reality says like tonight they're going to try down the stretch because that's it, they get eliminated. But when you come out in the second half and you're down 20 or 30 and you just give up, it's for a lot of people, it's just optically, it just looks awful, But I mean, I understand like we have no shot to win, but to just give up just looks bad. And they gave up in the last game. It was awful.
It's also no win.
And
like
what about
you stay in the game? You stay in the game. You're down 25. You're going all out like a lunatic and trying to get a defensive stop when you're down 25 points in the fourth quarter, and you get hurt. And people are like, "Why was he in the game?" Like you can't win in that situation. To me, it's your job right at that moment is to make sure you're as close to ready as you can be for the next game.
I would guess that
all the flops.
I would get
it's part of the game. Unfortunately, I wish it wasn't. I mean, I'm a soccer guy. It's part of the game. Like it sucks. I wish it was. Like in soccer, it's like basketball too. It's got to this point. You have to fall for it to be a call, right? So in soccer, people talk about flops all the time. Oh, they're flopping, they're falling all over the place. Well, like referees won't call you if you got like tackled, but you somehow like fought off the tackle and stayed up. You're not going to get a penalty. So like you have to fall down in order to get it, and the same as in the NBA. Like if you took a charge, like if you stood there right, it took a charge, and the guy bounced off of you, they're not going to call it. So referees have done this. This is not the players doing it. The referees have done it.
I mean, you got to sell the call. If it's hockey and it's overtime and someone taps your stick, you got to throw it and drop it to get the penalty.
That's
weird.
Such a bullshit call.
It's weird how Adam didn't say the same thing about that call though. Sell the call.
Well, I didn't think he did. I think the stick got knocked out of his head. Again, I said he shouldn't get the benefit of holding a stick loosely. It shouldn't be that. But I don't think he threw the stick. I think the stick got knocked out of his hands because he was gripping it loosely because he was on defense, not on offense. And I believe that's why the stick got knocked out of his hand, because he was just like carrying it lackadaisically because he was on defense and he wasn't expecting to get hit like that. But I think how could you, if you go back and look how quickly the stick left his hand, if he did throw it, good Lord, I guess he deserved it. I mean, that's the quickest reaction in the history of sports to anything. So more power to him. But I think, again, like you make that call because the stick leaves your hand, and it's garbage that you get that call because you're holding it loosely, but I think that's what happened.
And I think it's just garbage that there was, hockey officiating drives me crazy because it's the worst kept secret in the world that the NHL encourages officials to manage the game, and that it's okay to like do makeup calls and try to even things out, even though this series has not been even. But the Golden Knights did that to themselves by racking up so many penalties with fights and stuff in game one. But game two, I can't believe if they're going to be game managers that they chose to make that call in that situation, right? If we're going to accept that hockey officials do manage the game, then that was some fucking really bad game management. It was a terrible situation. The penalties that had been called were way out of whack. They had twice as many penalties against as for. So I just don't know what the officials are thinking at that time to call that penalty.
It's almost like the blood, and I know this is coming from the Colorado side, which is the side that I've been covering, but it's almost like the blood call, right? Where if there's blood, all of a sudden it's just an automatic extra penalty, even if it wasn't like it was not the worst penalty you've ever seen. Oh, it's blood, so that means something. If the stick is knocked out of your hand, it's like an automatic call. And so
we'll tell that to Landeskog, right? Isn't he the one that got cross-checked to the face by Patrick Brown? That didn't get called.
They just didn't see it, and I mean that was a ridiculous.
I think that's why they made I think that's why they called it an OT. If you ask me, as a makeup call. But at the same time, they missed a lot of stuff. I thought they did a good job in game one to try to fix what was going on. But game two, I thought they were really inconsistent. I mean, the hold on Marchie or Tuck was weak, was not really there, and then
that was
the other
that's
way.
When was it McKinnon? I think that he chickened our somebody.
Chicken winged
McCarr.
McCarr. Yeah.
Chicken
wings his stick. That's terrible. There was a hold on Marchie that was non-existent, and then meanwhile, Haig's got a chance to like put the puck on the net, and he's getting dragged from behind. No call. So I just thought that I thought they missed a lot of calls. But anyway, I don't want to talk about calls. I'm just so angry about that game because they played so well, and but it's hard against a team that talented to kill 6 penalties. You can't. And to have that in overtime, I was like, oh, we're done for. It's too hard. So anyway, Lakers are coming back.
Here we go. 77-64. All right, let's hit a couple legal stories tonight while we track the Laker game. What's going to happen with the sentencing of the Minneapolis cop Chauvin? We've got prosecutors now seeking 30-year sentence. Recommended is what, 12 and a half? So what can happen? What are the possibilities?
Yes, I mean, sentencing guidelines call for 13. They can. I don't know if they have a mandatory minimum or if you have to follow the guidelines in Minnesota, but in Nevada there's a mandatory minimum, and then there is discretion up to the maximum. Here, the prosecutor's calling for 30 years. I don't think that that's going to happen. I think it's going to be somewhere in between, 12 and 30. If I was a betting man, I'd say less than 20.
Is there a chance he gets probation?
No.
Okay. That was a joke, obviously.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
Time served. Yeah.
You're just like, okay, stop.
Yeah. Not going to happen.
What's their job to ask for it, right? Is there, I guess in that case, is there a danger for asking for too little? Like, do they hold that against you?
Yeah, could you lose credibility? Is it kind of what you're asking? Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't matter, right? It should not matter to the judge because the judge isn't sentencing the person based on the attorney, right? They're basing it on the crime and any mitigating circumstances that they may hear. So, some of the mitigation here is first-time offender, no past history, I don't know what argument they're going to make. They're going to argue, I don't know how many years he was on the force. It was like 10 or 12 years on the force of public service, try to argue mitigating factors like this was once a procedure that was authorized in the handbook and then it was taken away. They're going to, those kinds of things, they should not do it based on the actions of an attorney or how ridiculous an attorney is or not. That being said, judges are humans too. And I certainly would want to maintain my credibility, not only for my client in that circumstance, but for my future clients too, right? I mean, the criminal legal world is really small. And so it's the same prosecutors and same defense attorneys on cases over and over and over again in front of the same judges. So you got to maintain some level of credibility.
If they try to say, no priors, clean record, all that other stuff,
they're definitely going to say that.
Is it admissible? Well, he's had complaints. Like he's had, complaints in the department. Is that admissible in terms of sentencing to say, hold on, you're trying to claim you've got a clean record? Sure, maybe in the legal system, but there's plenty of things behind the scenes in the department. Yeah.
Yes, it is fair, but only if they bring it up first. So if they make his character an issue of sentencing, then they can come in and say exactly what you're saying. You're going to, you bringing your character into the forefront here. Let's talk about all these different things, or let's judge. Here's all the different things that we have. So certainly it's fair game if they bring it up first. If they do not make his character an issue, they have to. Right. It's the only thing that he can do to mitigate the sentence is try to bring his moral character into it. And unless some of the other things that aren't moral character that are brought in the sentencing guidelines is, say, if he came from an abusive home or something of that nature that says, like, the argument basically is this guy never had a chance from day one. Those kinds of things, came from an abusive home, worked it through the foster system, never had any guidance or parenting, and he ended up in the system, and he's been in the system ever since. That's an argument that can be made. Not going to be made here. So what you're going to hear is character stuff.
So to this question, there was kids watching, and the prosecutors are saying, hey, you murdered a man in front of some kids. Like, is that relevant? So basically, don't
the egregiousness. Yes. Yes. The egregiousness of the crime is relevant to the sentencing. Yes.
All right. Any other questions from the room? If not, what next story? Justin, what is the deal with the law student who got in trouble at Stanford? Something about making fun of the Federalist Society. Do you know this whole deal?
Yeah. So Federalist Society, I think they exist in undergrad too, but there are always a society in law schools that are like to call themselves originalists, interpret the Constitution strictly, which means if there's no reading between the lines, if it's only in the lines, that's it. So, like, say, for instance, one of their big points would be they don't recognize abortion rights because abortion rights are born out of the inference in the Constitution that there is a right to privacy, and that is what creates the right to make decisions for your own body. So it's almost always, quite conservative in nature. And so one of the law students at Stanford, on a online chat room posting board, made this fake invitation for January 6th. So something that had already happened, and said, the Federal Society is sponsoring, this trip to the Capitol for an insurrection because there's no better way to limit government than to hold it accountable by trying to overthrow it, or something along those lines. And it referenced Hawley and one of the other dumbasses who's been promoting the insurrection the whole time. And despite being strict interpreters of the Constitution and supposedly being in favor of free speech, the Federalist Society made a complaint to Stanford, said this guy is defaming us and harming us with this post, and kept pressing it. And Stanford, after several months, the complaint was made in March. After several months, on the last day of his classes before he goes to take his finals, they told him, we're doing an investigation and we're holding up your graduation until we've completed this investigation, which in law school can be significant because you can't apply for the bar exam without a diploma. So if they're not giving you a diploma, you can't apply for the bar exam. If you can't apply for the bar exam, you can't be a lawyer. Now, I did read today that Stanford dismissed the complaint and said that it violates free speech. And the first immediate question would be, wait, Justin, Stanford's a private institution. It's not government action. So there is no right to free speech as far as policies and procedures of Stanford. In California, they passed a law called Leonard Law, which says all private institutions of education must adhere to the constitutional rights of its students. So this student does have constitutional rights despite being at a private university. And so in this instance, they recognized, hey, this is satire. It's First Amendment protected free speech. So we're dismissing it. I would say that I saw a statement on Twitter from the dean of Stanford Law School that was fantastic. And if I can find it again, I'll retweet the thread. But started off by saying, number one, Stanford Law never got notice of this complaint and never did an investigation. This was with Stanford University, not with the Stanford Law School. Was never made aware. Number two, we have dedicated our entire, we dedicate a significant portion of our education to protected free speech. And then the dean goes on to say, and that's what got me into law, goes through her career and says that it's what I fought for. We often get asked to censure or to condemn speech that may be harmful or hurtful or incendiary to some groups, but we never do, won't do. That's not what we see that our role as. We protect free speech. Really good statement. So long story short, kid's going to graduate and now can focus on his finals instead of, his disciplinary hearing.
Adam, follow-ups?
Well, it's not a court case. I wanted to ask, like, if that was a court case, this is a really hypothetical here, but if like the Federalist Society, which I assume is very pro First Amendment, I would think.
It should be.
If they were to bring a claim like this to court, would it be relevant in court for a judge to say, you're the First Amendment people, you can't bring this?
No.
Like is there a hypocrisy? Is there a hypocrisy standard in a court case?
No, not really. Although it certainly doesn't look good, right? But it should not be ruled. Any ruling should come down on the merits. But I'll find the thread that you want to find. You'll love this. It's not exactly for First Amendment, but there is something similar in civil cases in which you're claiming that you were wronged by somebody else, right? Like this person breached a contract, this person defamed me, this person stole from me, this person did whatever to me. There is what's called the doctrine of unclean hands, in which you say, yeah, I did that, but you're a fucking scumbag. And you did a bunch of shit to me first. And so I'm allowed to go outside the rules because you did too. And you don't get to come to court and ask for remedies when you're a bad guy.
I like that.
Yeah. It's rarely used, but I shouldn't say rarely used. When I did a lot of contractual claims, I mean, the first 7 years of my career, a big portion of what I did was contract disputes. And so the doctrine of unclean hands was pled in almost every single one of those situations, which is to say, yeah, even if we breached the contract, it's because you breached it first, or because you did this first, or you weren't acting in good faith of the intent of the contract. So we were we were free to act as we saw fit. That's the one you want to know.
Does the level of breach matter? To where, like,
I think it does. Here's the thing: the doctrine of unclean hands is what's called an equitable remedy, and what that means is it gives the judge the situation where they're supposed to say something is fundamentally unfair here, and so the judge doesn't have to follow the strict verbiage of, say, a contract or the letter of the law when the doctrine of unclean hands applies. They just now go, yeah, you're right. Okay, what's fair? And so your conduct absolutely matters, and how egregious the conduct is matters, and whether or not the response is equal to or out of weight to the original unclean conduct all matters. It immediately goes into a balancing test of fairness.
Earlier, Brady had a question. He was saying, hold up, you don't need a diploma to apply for the bar, do you? How's Kim
You
K
do in
stuff?
most states.
Okay.
In Nevada, you do. In California, you actually don't.
Okay.
I think, let me think about this. There's only a few that don't, but I believe in California, if you're taking the bar without a legal degree, you have to have some experience. I thought it was like 10 years of experience working for a law firm, but the courses you can take to qualify for a legal degree, like online correspondence courses, you don't have to do your traditional 3 years of an accredited school. You could be an unaccredited, like, vocational legal program. So I don't know how long those take and what's offered. I'm sure there's plenty of places in California willing to take your money, but in Nevada, you have to have a diploma from an ABA accredited school. So, one of, I don't know how many there are, a couple hundred, but one of the major institutions.
If there's a standard of having to work at a law firm, like, what if you're like I was gonna say, like, any job. What if you restock the vending machines at the law firm?
Yeah, so I'm aware in California that they have they like specifically lay out, legal assistant that has experience in these things.
Uh-oh. Your audio went out for a second.
Oh, I did it on purpose. I had to yell at my dog.
Okay.
He started barking.
All right, we got a bunch of Vegas stories to close out on, but I do want to take a little break here and watch a bear video.
Nice.
So have you guys seen this yet?
On the fence?
I have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For the audience who hasn't, here we go. Yeah, look at that. Look at that pretty big dog. Oh my God. Oh shit. That is a big dog coming at it.
Oh yeah.
Jesus. The bear. Oh, this dog's in trouble. Jesus. Oh my God.
I love neighborhood bears.
Yeah. In other neighborhoods, not yours.
Yeah.
I love how I can almost see the expression of the bear. It's like, hey,
yeah,
what the hell?
Well, it's because a bear looks so scary and intimidating. Like, all the bear cares about is protecting its cubs. It's got both cubs underneath it, and the cubs start to run away. The bear's not attacking these dogs. It's trying to stop them from going after the cubs. So it's like, everybody thinks like the bear is trying to be aggressive and mean.
Adam will defend Shifley and bears.
True.
It's like the bear's it's a good bear, and the bear's not trying to attack. I like the bear. The bear was taking a couple final parting shots on the little ones.
It was trying to let the cubs get away further.
I love it. Adam's got the modus operandi, or the mens rea of the bear too. He's like, yeah, no, the motives are pure of this bear.
Yes.
Like the bear's retreating because it's like, oh crap, these dogs are coming after my babies.
And the dog is so Adam, one of Adam's dog or both of Adam's dogs. That dog, look at how small that dog is. I mean, who knows if it's pure breed, but the dog, of course, because Adam, which one of your dogs always attacks bigger ones?
Oh, Baron.
Yeah, Baron. Look at little Baron. It's only a bear, Baron. Yeah, go ahead and get it. As he gets freaking whacked in the head, then runs like hell. Look at the other little dogs are doing it too.
And the bear like takes off like shit. I just got punked.
The bear was just trying to get out of there from the beginning.
I'm surprised by the lack of balance of the bear. I mean, how hard did that lady have to push to get that bear to go? I love that video. I freaking love that video.
Is that a penalty on the lady?
No, she didn't get both hands on the stick.
2 minutes for the cross jack and 4 if the bear's bloodied.
Poor bear.
I just like that the bear's just so shocked as to what happened. It's like, what the fuck?
I was thinking about watching the video the first time. I was like, I wonder if I would do that if the bear was in my backyard.
Oh my god!
I think
I'm 100% positive I would not. I'd be like, hey, dogs, get in here. Like, I don't know, dogs don't want to come in. Well, you know, they got to make some tough decisions for themselves. You know? If they're not smart enough to recognize that a bear is deadly to them, then you know what? Natural selection, baby.
But what if the dogs do run back in the house and then one of the bear cubs follow it through the doggy door?
Yeah.
Did you got a bear in your house?
Sucker right back out the doggy. Throw the little sucker back out.
Sure.
I'm not afraid of a bear cub. I'm afraid of a bear.
Oh, the bear cub will get you too. That thing's violent.
If she came out with a gun and blew away the bear, what happens?
Yeah, I think she's okay. Self-defense. You were allowed to discharge a fire. Like, let's say that happened in Vegas. There are no bears anywhere near Vegas, but let's say it did. Discharging a firearm inside of city limits is legal, except in defense situations or emergency situations. So I don't think if you fired and shot that bear, I don't know. If you watch Yellowstone, killing a bear is a big deal. It almost got Rip in trouble. They tried to come after Rip, but
whoa! No spoilers, please.
Huh?
But I feel like the bear has self-defense rights. It's just minding its own business on the fence. The lady's the one that's aggressive.
The bear's got to respect property rights, buddy. Stand your ground laws here.
Well, who owns the fence?
They both do.
So
the neighbors.
What if the next door neighbor who owns half the fence is like, "Nah, I'm cool with the bear"?
I don't know.
Then they can,
I think the answer is no.
Okay.
You can shoot the bear.
So Justin, what'd you make of this one? The lady in Texas who was trying to take care of a dog and she freaking shot her kid. I assume in Texas this is okay, right?
That.
Oh, you did? I thought I added the story for you. Here, let me get it.
Oh, you probably did. I don't know. I just probably read like Texas shoots kid. I was like, oh, Texas, go to Texas.
Yeah, you don't even blink an eye. That's not good. Yeah, this was a.
Why was she trying to shoot the neighbor dog? Because it was attacking her son or kid?
God damn it! Maybe it didn't go through. This is a Brady special. Let me find the story. Did you see this one, Adam? It actually just came down. Let me go back to it. Well, let me get to the Vegas stuff. So, Justin, did you see any of the stories today on the Raiders parking press conference and some early details of what they're planning on doing? They now have 35,000 spots. Remember, they're supposed to have 16,000 spots. They have 35,000. They've got 13. The Raiders own 13,000. And then there's another 22,000 within a mile, and that includes all the garages on the strip.
Fucking ridiculous.
Plenty of parking.
Within a mile. No problem. Opening weekend in August. It's going to be fine for you to walk a mile in your black Raiders jersey. Like, it's going to be fine. It's not going to be too hot, and you're not going to have people passing out because they've been drinking all morning and they're out in the heat with no freaking water. What a disaster!
At least that's a night game.
And then insulting on top of it, or like, yeah, the average price is only going to be $75 to park. Like, fuck you! Come on, man. Fucking
Adam, you defended it on the air today. You said that's the norm.
Well, let's be clear. Again, like a lot of people misinterpret what I say sometimes. I'm not defending that as a norm. Like, it's ridiculous that that's what the norm is. But I will say, when people have asked me, this is what I said. When people have asked me, like the last couple of months, how much is it going to cost to park at Allegiant Stadium? I said my guess is $200. That's my guess. Like, I assume that's about what it's going to be.
So you're not surprised by it, but there is a discussion we can have that when you put up $750 million publicly for a stadium, do we have to freaking just rake the residents of Vegas who want to go to the games across the coals? And the other part of it is let's say it again. This is not done, and I think things will change when they acquire and develop new property around the stadium. But the rideshare idea right now sucks. They were the ones who pitched, hey, this is going to be the first modern stadium all built around rideshare. And then they're like, okay, we're going to drop you off at Valley View and Tropicana. That does suck.
Of course.
So there is no option. You can take rideshare and walk a mile, or you can park. And I mean, they're saying, where the hell are there going to be $40? Where are you going to park for $40? Planet Hollywood? This isn't great coming out of the gates. And as Justin said, there is a certain arrogance with the Raiders. Like, hey, these people are stupid. Like, I mean, I guess some are who are going to go to the games, but there's a lot of people in the area who are like, this is the beginning of the bullshit.
Well, it's also to tie it into,
I think it's insulting.
But Justin, to tie it into the story we did earlier today, I'm sure the Raiders are also thinking, hey, this is a place where people come every weekend and pay $3,000 for a $30 bottle of Tito's. Like, why wouldn't they pay $200 to park?
Well, yeah, tourists, right? But tourists, I mean, I get that, but I think it's insulting that, okay, you're going to say, well, this is normal. This is what it costs to park at an NFL stadium. You know what's not fucking normal? You know what's a record? $750 million of contribution from the state to get you here. You're like, knock it off. Come on. Like, I mean, maybe just do this. Just have a parking lot that is not a fucking mile away, that's somewhat close, that is for residents only of the state. And it's $20. Just do that, right? The people who drive up from LA or drive in from California, they got to pay the full boat. But if you show Nevada ID, you could park at this fucking place and it's $20. You know, like, I don't know, man. I hear how much these tickets are going for on the secondary market, and it's through the roof, and clearly there's demand. I get it, but man, if they want, maybe they don't care. Maybe they don't care whether or not Nevadans actually buy into this team. Maybe they don't need it because they're a national brand and they're going to sell out every game anyway. But it seems like Mark Davis wants buy-in. It seems like by buying the Aces and going to all the Golden Knights games that he's trying to be a member of the community. And if you want to do that, this is a really fucking bad step. First step to take. I think it's super insulting.
At some point, it's going to be cheaper to take a helicopter.
Yeah, no shit.
Have it drop you off.
Well, I mean, $75 maybe makes sense if you're not a mile away. Right. Well, okay, 40 is the low. He said between 40 and 200, right? Or was it 40 and 100 for most of the parking spots? But the fact that they're making people walk a mile in the desert heat is just ridiculous. Through, I'll say, not the best area of that, or I want to be walking. It's not like I'm walking down the strip. I'm like walking through some warehouses and shit.
Yeah, but I mean, I would assume they better have a lot of security. That route back from Hacienda down Valley View to Tropicana is a weird one. And then the one we talked about a lot today, there's a lot that's down LV Boulevard, which I feel like is not a mile away. So all these satellite lots are not a mile away. You're gonna walk down LV Boulevard south with traffic on both sides. And Adam and I also kind of sparred on the air about what they're gonna do with Las Vegas Boulevard from Hacienda like up to Tropicana before and after the game. I think they need to close Las Vegas Boulevard because I think it's going to be a freaking nightmare as people are going back up to the strip or coming down the strip right before the game or right after the game. They can't keep that open. You're going to have tens of thousands of people walking north on LV Boulevard on those sidewalks.
I still don't know what parking lots are they using on Las Vegas Boulevard.
You know what? I got to look at the original map because the original map had them pretty far down.
Because I thought it was just like Luxor, Mandalay, Excalibur, Aria, New York, which are all on that side of the street, or on the Allegiant side of the street.
All right.
Yeah, there's no real good parking on that south side on the east side of the street.
Right.
Oh, by the way, isn't the other actually the biggest lot they may have, and I forgot to mention this on the air, the original plan had the Orleans as one of the parking lots. So
Well,
now you're going up Hacienda and making a right on Arville and walking through that area. So have they got new lots and I missed it?
No, I think that's a shuttle lot.
That's a shuttle, yeah.
Yeah.
So those are all the shuttle lots.
Yeah.
So my characterization of like walking south on LV Boulevard, that's not a shuttle lot. I mean, those are
No.
shuttle. Sorry.
Yeah, the one like down by Silverton, because that's like probably 2 or 3 miles.
Right.
That's definitely a shuttle. I don't think anybody's walking that one. But yeah, I mean, the bottom line is, again, we could like I will quibble about this stuff every day until the season starts to be. It's fun. I love this. I don't know how everybody else feels about it, the viewers, but it's fun. But at the same time, like, it's going to be a mess. Like, that's what everybody can agree on, especially early on when everybody's figuring it out and learning where to go and what the tricks are and all that stuff. It's going to be a mess. And then, by the way, I will promise you what happens is some people do learn some tricks. They do learn like some company that has their own parking down by, they have like a warehouse or something. And then that's going to be shut down. Like, that's what happened to the Golden Knights the first year when people figured out you could park at Tropicana. And they would just park there and walk across. And then they started like really patrolling that lot. I think because Ron Kantowski wrote a column about how easy it is to just park at Tropicana and walk across.
Thanks, Ron.
Yeah, for free.
Appreciate it. Newspaper always serving us well.
Yeah, and then they started patrolling that.
Snitch.
Well, he was trying. He was like, "Hey, this is a good way to go."
Yeah, don't advertise it. If you know it, you know it. If you're clueless and a dumbass, then that's on you. We already found the secret lot. That's been my secret lot. That was for freaking 18 years for boxing at the MGM.
Me too.
Thanks, Ron.
To Brady's point, this would be good. Use that. I actually drove by that today. I was like, God, so sad. Use that lot. Build a shuttle from there.
That's awesome.
Have some refreshments inside the old Kmart, to use out of the building too.
There's people living there.
Yeah, well, you can help them out too. I can't believe what prices are going for that game, that first game in the stadium. I mean, the stuff I'm hearing is astronomical, man. It's just insane, and it's going to be such a clusterfuck to get in there and out of there. It's going to be crazy.
I've been talking about this to Steve all week, but I was with actually a bunch of people that have season tickets this weekend at a barbecue, and they were discussing it. And one of them, we should do a rhymes with right now. One of them, both the members of the couple are kind of public figures, and they were discussing it. They're like, "Is it wrong if we sell our tickets? Like, people kind of know who we are." But then they said, we're getting offered $5,000 for each ticket. Like, how could we not sell it? Like, how could we not sell
it? Yeah,
and you should. Yeah.
Yeah, you think the stadium is going to look substantially different on week 2? It's going to look exactly the same. Yeah. And instead, you're going to have, you got 20 grand in your pocket.
You do have that historic moment though of like you were at the first ever game with fans, which it's kind of worth it to some level, but no.
Does anybody remember the first thing at T-Mobile? I do. I was there, but does it matter? Remember what it was?
Are you counting that opening concert with the Killers? Because that was like a grand opening. I don't know if it was an official,
right?
But yeah, I was there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I do remember.
Yeah, but nobody cares, right? You go, hey, true. I was at that first Killers concert at T-Mobile. People are like, who gives a shit? Like nobody fucking cares.
It's true.
I would rather have 20 grand in my pocket and be like, yeah, I had tickets to the first game. See
Adam,
that
Mitch.
Porsche out there?
No.
Mitch.
No. I mean, this might give it away. Absolutely not.
Schmo.
No. It's a
Someone
fighter.
tied to Derek Stevens.
No, it's a fighter who's married to a public figure on the broadcast. Yeah.
Thanks.
How much do they pay for PSLs?
I believe
tell me
they
75 apiece.
I believe they said it was 15 each.
Nice. Man and
Well,
woman.
there you go. You get it back. Yeah, one game. Get it back.
By the way, what are they going to do for parking? Is it $75 to park anywhere near the stadium for Garth?
Well,
I don't know. I got tickets for that though.
what and by the way, Steve, as you mentioned, so if the plan is, hey, we've got all these garages, Mandalay Bay, Luxor, Excalibur, Aria, New York.
Garth.
There's also
Garth and Conor McGregor. Yeah,
there's
use the
also
garages.
Conor. Yeah. So good luck there. I mean, that's a mess.
I'm just gonna set a tea. I'm just gonna set
me-
a tea time at Bally High for earlier or like the last tea time that day. And I'll actually go play the round and then just leave my car there and walk over.
So I want to ask you, Adam, and then Justin, your opinion of media in general. There are going to be media people who are going to defend the Raiders and the stadium parking prices and the situation, which will be kind of squirrely. They're going to defend them no matter what the fuck happens. I wonder in general what you think of media doing that, because I find it disturbing, and I want to be pro Vegas, but more than pro Vegas, I'm pro the people of Vegas, and I'm not sitting here like virtue signaling, but like I don't even know how people like say it with a straight face that $75 to park down at the MGM and walk over, and I don't know if that's going to be the price, but like how do you actually say as a media member who, in a way, we're supposed to be kind of serving the public? How do you say it with a straight face?
For a couple of reasons. First of all, I'll tell you, because I'm not defending what it is. I'm just saying that's what it is. I said it today. If we all, as a community, band together and don't go park there, that's not the price anymore.
Right.
The only reason that's the price is because people are paying that price. So if we are a community, we do want to band together, and we don't like it, then don't fucking park there.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, with empty lots, the price goes down next year. But that's not going to happen. And to the, I know there is the crowd of like, what do you care? You go for free and all those other things. True, but I don't go to concerts for free, and I still have to make that decision. I still have to decide if I'm going to pay to park there. Like it's not like every event is going to be free parking all the time. Like there is still we are still paying. When I go to concerts at T-Mobile, I still pay. So like it does affect us, even if you're making that claim of what? How can you say that you get to go for free? Yeah, sure, but not when I'm on my own dime, not when I'm going for something for pleasure. So it does affect me too.
Is it still going to be free for like all those hotels that you called the All or MGM properties if you have the M Life card?
It's a great question.
On game days,
I'll get that. Yeah, I'll get that shit.
Get the platinum. Go start playing some slots right now and get that platinum card.
Oh, but you don't have to play, right? I mean, it's like a credit card, right? Or is it a player's card?
No, it's a player's
card.
Yeah.
What does the M card do on night games, on night game days?
I thought if you're a certain level, you're free.
Yeah, it's free.
Oh, really? Christopher Colangelo with a good question saying monorail $2. The only problem there, I guess, beggars can't be choosers because the monorail's not going to, as far as we know, is that project like they were talking about it, are they going to extend it or not? So if they don't extend it, the monorail ends at the MGM, which is not the worst walk ever.
Right, you can go to the MGM and then jump on the Luxor Mandalay little thing too, right? So you can
walk across.
So,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, hit them both, so you can get to the end.
You walk through. You walk across that pedestrian bridge from MGM. Take the Excalibur to Mandalay Bay.
Yes, there you go.
And then walk through.
And the credit card gets you free parking.
That's what I said. I thought it was a credit card. Yeah.
Okay. And what's
Well-
that a year? 70, like that's probably $75. Is that the fee on that card? It's got to be a fee. But one event, you're covered.
Yep.
I
Okay.
can't imagine that they're doing it for free, like they do with the Golden Knights games. But
Right.
maybe.
Well, I don't have a card yet, so I'll definitely ask when I get the card.
I'm
course.
going to find out too.
Of course, they're just going to lie to me, but because they don't know, because they don't have an answer. They don't know yet.
Oh.
Well, all right. M card.
Well, there you go.
I thought you had to be a certain level on the M card, though.
I thought so. I don't have one, so I don't know. But I thought you had to be.
Freaking Bush League. I'm not. We're penny slot players.
Oh,
And if I play 100 on the table, I get to 70 loss, and then I just take the last 30 and just roll it at the dealer and walk away. Thanks.
confirmed, by the way.
That is confirmed.
I
yes.
can't even
Just like
remember the last time I've gambled at a casino, but I eat at a casino. So if my M card, if running up a tab at a restaurant at a MGM property is counted as points or whatever the fuck, I'm in.
Chris says he has an M card. Chris, is that the M card or the credit card? Trying to get information here. Trying to help the audience. Hey, by the way, so I got a question. So last night we didn't do the podcast. And it doesn't happen often, but my internet was like, it was super janky, and I'm trying to watch the VGK game, and I'm like, I got to watch this game. This is ridiculous. And last night's podcast would have been a disaster anyway. The game went on for so long that we would have been sitting here on the podcast trying to watch the game. Justin, what do you have for internet? Do you just have Cox Cable, Cox Communications?
Yeah.
So does anyone in the chat room, or does anyone, either one of you guys, can we get Google Wi-Fi or like Nest Wi-Fi? Does that work? I know you got to buy some equipment, but I'm wondering what better options are, especially systems where you could put like different hotspots around the house. Anyone have a clue?
What's the one that Elon Musk took over? What's his thing called?
Wait a second.
You don't know about this?
No.
It's a little dish. Yeah, so we have Giga at the office now through fiber optic,
Right.
but it does not run out to so high yet. I don't believe. Is it Starlink? No, that's not it. Starlink. So it's a little dish you set up, you plug it in the wall, and it's supposed to be great for like remote places. I was going to get it for my cabin up in Bryan Head because we're old school modem. We got a phone line, but the internet's basically non-existent. It's really low. So this Starlink's supposed to be fantastic anywhere in the world. You just pop up this little satellite. If you've got power, you've got internet.
Wait, so are you suggesting that for a house here, or are you talking about being more remote location?
Yeah, no. It's supposed to be good. It's supposed to be like 100. Let's see. I'll look it up while you're talking. See if anybody else has
solutions. All right. So then, what's the deal with Nest Wi-Fi? Go ahead, Adam. Sorry.
I was going to say I feel like Cox fails all the time.
Yep.
All the time, and I think they just feel like there's no competition. Yeah. So what are you going to do?
I'd rather pay I don't want to pay more, but I'd rather pay more and get good service than continue to have, slow loads. And I don't even have many needs, and this house is not that big where it should be struggling. And finally, after 7 straight months of the obnoxious, you're going over your limit and actually getting charged extra for 3 of the months, that finally went away, which I still believe is a total scam. Yeah, here you go.
Well, don't you have 7 TVs on streaming?
We have one main TV, and then I've got a second that we stream on. I have a little TV wall that we built, but I never have all 3 TVs running, hardly ever, unless it's football season. But our main TV is probably 40 feet from the freaking Wi-Fi router, and the load time on it sometimes stinks. And I have a relatively new router too.
I definitely notice it, like when I'm just doing a lot of things. Like there's times where I have like I'm connected by Zoom or video with the office. I've got the TV on streaming. My phone is streaming something. I've got all these things happening. There's maybe a TV streaming upstairs or whatever. Like there's like so many. No, I don't. I hate Cox. It's the worst. It's the fucking worst.
Adam is defending. He's defending everyone, like every person on the wrong side. He's pro Shifley. He's pro Bears beating up little dogs. He's pro Cox Communications. What's going on tonight?
First of all, I just say it fails all the time. Like I hate it.
Yes, I know.
What are you talking about? It sucks.
Yeah,
But
it doesn't look like Starlink's an option. Not yet. It's basically at 5G speeds. So that's a no-go.
Oh, wow. Oh, wowie.
It's true, too. Wi-Fi seems to know when something important is happening.
Yes, it's got a mind.
Fails. It just fails.
Yeah. You're right.
I didn't even know there were
streaming. I'm like, no, it's never. I've given up. Plus, there's only 2 of us. We can't have 7. We're not going to be watching 7 TVs. Yeah, and here it was Adam's pro walking. Adam's pro walking from his house to the stadium. That's another one. We got you on that today.
That's true.
Adam, you missed this one, Justin. Adam's like, I have a straight shut up Dean Martin. I could walk all the way from home.
Hold on. Not what I said. Again, that's what I said 3 minutes ago. It seems like everything is misconstrued. I wasn't making the case that I could walk or that I would want to walk from my house to the stadium. I was making the case that I wouldn't have to turn. Like, literally, the entrance to the stadium is on Dean Martin. I live on Dean Martin. What I was saying is I could go straight because you said JVT could because he lives on Russell. Right. I was like, he's almost on Russell. He has to get to Russell and then walk, and then you have to turn off Russell.
No, he's on Russell. Like, I don't want to give away where he lives. He can walk out of his complex. He's on Russell. He has a straight shot basically from Durango and Russell all the way down. Is anyone going to walk that far? No.
But then you have to turn on either Polaris or Dean Martin.
Oh, the turn. You know what? Technically, you are right. But you actually don't run into the stadium on Dean Martin. You actually have to turn left slightly. So you have to turn.
The entrance is on Dean Martin.
Oh my God.
And Dean Martin's not straight.
Yeah, it curves around by Silverton.
Russell is a straight out.
Yeah, it's true.
How come? And how come Justin knows that it's not straight? Is that where your sports book is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly where our sports book is.
Your own
right
private sports book.
Well, I think I told you this. Like, my girls' gymnastics is like right behind the Alamo Casino. So like, when you guys mentioned it, I don't know, whatever that was months ago, I was like, oh, awesome. I know I go drive by that twice a week.
What a weird complex that is, by the way. There's like a gym where dudes play like trampoline basketball till 5 a.m. Like, what is going on there? Then there's like a normal basketball gym, and then there's like weird like a gymnastics,
martial arts,
yeah.
And then like a some sort of CrossFit, some rhino sport, something or other. I don't know what the hell's going on there.
It looks like it's just warehouses, but there's all these things going on there.
Yeah,
weird.
I love it. That's the most convenient thing my kids do.
Sorry about that. Final question of the night. This one's actually for Ari, so we'll have to play the replay for him. And I've often thought of this because I think it's getting everything for me on the roads. It's getting worse. I'm like, in the old days. Ari was asking about motorcycle lane splitting. And he said, I've always wanted to ask, this happens often in Vegas. I'm at a light with a car on either side of me, and a dipshit biker pulls up between, narrowly missing, hitting either of us. If something happened, any malice aside, I have to assume the biker takes on all responsibility in 99% of the scenarios here, right?
Correct. Lane splitting in Nevada is not legal.
It's not legal.
It's not legal.
So I must have looked. You know what? It was happening to me a bunch in California. I looked it up there, and I thought in California it said it was legal. I mean, I'm talking well, I mean, it's usually stopped in traffic. It's not like a motorcycle is going 120 miles an hour on the 101 and passing 2 cars. I didn't know. I thought it was legal.
No, so lane sharing is legal. 2 bikes in a lane. They can be side by side in a lane, but a bike cannot share a lane with an automobile. So, and you can't go in between the lanes and zigzag on the white line, and that is not legal. So, yeah, absolutely. No.
Wait,
I don't
Justin,
believe that's
to Brady's question of flinging your door open, would the doctrine of unclean hands apply? That the biker was already breaking the law, so hey, mine opening the door on you is fine because you were already breaking the law?
I think if you open the 2 different things, right? Like one is negligence and one is intent, right? Like you're intending to assault and batter somebody versus like an accident that could happen. But now Mark's got me second guessing my lane splitting, but I'm pretty positive that lane sharing is what was covered in 2019.
Brady, what if I was intending to get more air in the car? Not right now. And this actually brings to mind about 2 weeks ago, I was driving down LV Boulevard, which, by the way, don't drive right now from like Tacos El Gordo all the way down to Stratosphere. It's kind of a mess as they're trying to finish off Resorts World, because that's going to open up in like 3 weeks now. I was driving in front of the Stratosphere and on LV Boulevard, and we're in the right lane. I'm looking in my mirror. I can see a couple of there's like a stream of like 4 scooters, right? And they're riding on the road and they're passing everyone on the right. And like, it's a tight fit, and some car was trying to avoid some kind of bump in the middle of the road and did like a little shift over, and down went the bike, and the bike slid, and the guy was like, "What the fuck?" like yelling at the car. I'm like, I don't think you're allowed to pass on the right with a scooter, are you? In the same lane? Well, am I on a delay? What's going on?
No. I've got noises going on in the house. So yeah, you can hear all that stuff now. We can't. I'm correct. I'm correct. Lane splitting is not legal. Lane sharing is the consequence of the 2019 session. So, what's your question on the scooter again? Go with that.
No, LV Boulevard. I'm driving down LV Boulevard, 2 lanes going north towards the Stratosphere. I'm in the right lane, and there's a car behind me. I can see some scooters coming up, and they're trying to pass everyone on the right side of the right lane. And I don't think the car did it on purpose, but it was a small SUV. They were avoiding some kind of bump in the road. They pulled to the right a little bit, and the scooter had to like lay it down on the ground and slid a little bit. And then they get up, the scooter and his friend are like, "What the fuck?" Like, dude, you're passing on the right. Like, I can barely
that's the whole reason why you're not.
Yeah,
that's the whole reason why you're not supposed to pass on the right, is because in emergency situations or avoidance situations, you're supposed to have room on the right. That's why. So yeah, the scooter's in the wrong there.
All right. If it was only me, I would have had you right on the phone as I was getting my ass kicked by 2 scooter rental guys, but I would have been right.
And that's what's important.
Yeah, true.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Cofield world. He's like, yeah, consequences be damned. I'm right.
I think it's Cofield and Company's world. I think just about everyone on the show is down with, as long as I was right.
It's true.
If I get the answer that I was correct, then I'm good to go.
Correct.
So, nice. All right. Do I answer Big Mac tonight and go get a couple of drinks with him?
Oh boy, I'm actually going to bed right now for the first time.
Oh, look at you! Wow. All right.
Me too. Early morning.
Oh, important question. Best late night chicken finger places. Adam, you're that Naked City doesn't stay open late.
I know. Well, I mean, I would go to Tap House to get wings.
Chicken fingers.
I know.
Fingers. I like Oasis.
Oasis is really good. On Decatur.
My suggestion would be, and there's got to be some fancy schmancy places that are new to town since we've got Big Chicken invading town. I actually think a place that does good chicken fingers is the Blue Ox.
Really?
I know it's very offbeat, but
on Sahara?
Any of them really. I think there's still
Eastern,
one.
right?
Well, there's still one like not way east, out by Samstown on Sand Hill and Flamingo. That one's got a lot of character, unless they redid it. The one I will hit is actually, as Adam said, on Sahara and Jones by what used to be, I don't know what they call it now. They just call it Burlington Clothes or something. By the Burlington Coat Factory, there's a Dunkin' Donuts in front, and there's a Del Taco in front. So it's buried, very buried in the shopping center, but they have good chicken fingers. Rum Runner. I don't think I've ever tried the chicken fingers on. By the way, I have to get back to that. Is one of my favorite bars. Rum Runner on Tropicana.
Is that the Wisconsin spot?
It is. Yes. Yeah. What's Chicken Shack?
It's
I believe
garbage.
it's,
Is what it is.
I believe it's Rainbow and Trop.
There's one out by us. They just built it, Adam,
Really?
on Blue Diamond and Jones, in between Jones and Decatur. Trash.
Oh wow.
Have you gone to the noodle place yet? I mean, we only have like 3 restaurants in Soho. So.
No, I've been waiting for that thing to open forever, and it finally opened, and I haven't gone yet. Have you gone? Is it good?
I haven't gone yet.
Which noodle place?
The one that advertises on the station. So I guess we should.
There you go.
Yeah.
Jet Tila introducing us to Dragon Tiger Noodle Company.
Yes.
Yes.
It's right by Justin.
Have you gone? Yeah. Have you gone to the fried chicken place that's in that complex?
No.
Mama Bird?
No. I hear that's great too.
I hear it's awesome. I've only been once.
And the Mexican place in there looks pretty good too.
I'm not a fan.
Really? I only go to the only place I
Didn't know how to say that without her.
Yes, we won't be pitching that place.
The only place I go in there is the breakfast place, which I actually do like.
Oh, the original Rise and Shine. It's great.
Yeah, it's great.
All right.
Love that.
We'll table questions about Justin's restaurant because he's been very quiet about it lately. So he's a very busy man. Things are trying to come together. We appreciate you guys watching tonight. We're back tomorrow. God damn it! Look at the connection is fairly good. I'm plugged into the hard light. Unbelievable. The meter just that's it. I'm out of here. Justin.